We are diving into the mysterious and sometimes peculiar world of love. And we scout the world to bring you the most astonishing stories of all. You will agree with me that love can make people do some truly bizarre things. Get ready to explore the weirdest things people do for love. I am Vixby, the voice of Niger Delta, and this is Vflex TV. Let's go for a short break. When we come back, we're going to be unveiling the face of the weather zone today. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. It's your boy Vixby, the voice of Niger. Welcome to the weather zone.
When I'm 8 was the first time I was actually acting as a young teenager, as a child. But all them crushes like that. Sometimes you'll be too good for the job, but you don't get the job because you don't fall into the production.
Teach us how about you join us every Wednesday for an unforgettable journey to the weather zone, where the unexpected is always around the corner. Welcome back. On the weather zone today, we have a climate change activist joining us as well as an air personality OAP by the name Ivy Henshaw joining us on the weather zone today. I'm in. Ivy Henshaw, good to have you. How are you doing?
I'm very fine, thank
You're
you.
very cool. I love your appearance. I love your outfits. I just love everything about you.
Thank you.
You really like makeup and you're beautiful.
Oh my. Now you got me blushing.
You're blushing.
Yeah, thank
How
you.
is today for you? How is today going?
It's fine, though it was a little bit rainy, but
Okay.
it's fine all the same.
It's okay. Good to have you on the weather zone today.
Good to be here too.
Alright, so today we are talking about weird things people do for love. And you see today, a lot of people do so many weird things for love. But right before that, let's take our mind back to a little story of Monnier Blanche. There's this weird thing she did that got a lot of people talking about it. I mean, how could somebody undergo such torture and pain just because of love? And come to think of it, it's someone that is not even rich, because a lot of people will do everything just to have that rich person with them, you know. So, but she didn't do that, right? So let's take a look at her story, and we're going to be talking about Blanche's story. Monnier Blanche. She's from a wealthy family, and she's at the age of 25. She fell deeply in love with a penniless lawyer. This upsets her mother, Louise Monnier. So as this happens, Blanche to marry a man of wealth and notoriety. However, Blanche refused to marry or to give up to a lover. That's as a result, they now locked her up in a room. And that room, it's upstairs. They just got her locked there, no food, nothing, just padlock it to her bed. They padlocked her to her bed. All they could do is just to give her food from the bed, and everywhere was just black. I mean, that's such a weird story. If you ask me, you're not eating, you're not doing anything. You have rodents all around her, and that's the emotional trauma she went through. And she was there for good 26 years.
Interesting.
Is that a small yes? How did you manage all of that?
First thing first, you're called out from the outside world. You know, no social life, no friends. You can't even stay with your own family.
My goodness.
That is really weird for me. And for 26 years.
26
years. So that means she didn't attend school. Nobody
was
just
25 years. She was 25 years when she fell in love with this particular lawyer that is penniless. He doesn't have anyone. He wasn't rich at that time. So she fell in love with this person, and the parents were not, we don't want you to, you know, get yourself engaged to this person. Go look for someone who is rich. But then she just decided, this person is my lover, and that's the person I want to be committed to. And they got her locked up in the room. They locked the bed. She was clinched to the bed. They only give her food there, and she was kept in absolute darkness for good 26 years. Ivy, that's such a big time.
That's incredible, my parents, because 26 years to her initial years of 25, that's 51 years.
51 years.
So that means there was no work life for her, no fun life with
No
friends.
phone, no phone.
Just
nothing.
no phone.
I mean, those the minimum thing like lights. Nothing. There was no lights. Nothing.
Just because
it was
of
just locked on bed just because of love. Ivy, let me ask you, what would you do for love? What would you do for love? I mean, because a lot of people do weird things today. So what exactly would you do for love?
This is a really strong question. Okay, the truth is, I'm not certain I could agree to stay locked up for 26 years for love, because because the truth is, we have to be honest with ourselves. There was somebody in your life before this other person. Maybe there was somebody in your life before this other person walked in. So I will feel like there's always somebody else to meet that my parents may accept. The truth is, I don't even know why my parents are not accepting this person. Maybe for money reasons, because.
So let me quickly ask you, are your parents supposed to make decisions on the person you're supposed to love?
Not at all. That's where I don't agree with what they had done to her, because this is somebody you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And I always tell people this, because the truth is, we don't get to want to hear the truth. But that's the simple truth. Imagine she got married to this lawyer at 25 years, and they were going to spend like 100 years of their lives together. Calculate 100 years minus 25 years. That's approximately maybe 75 years of her life. Now, you don't want to do 75 years of your life with somebody who you cannot completely, feel, you don't love, you don't feel free, you don't feel close to the person. You can't even, the person is not your friend, you can't even be so open and vulnerable to the person, because at times in our lives, we just want that safe space, that safe place, that person who, come with me, you're able to talk through life together with, and just do life with. So 75 years of her life, imagine being married to the wrong person because her parents doesn't want her to get married to the supposed lawyer. That's like 75 years of torture.
Man, it's torture. That's not that. That is what it is.
Exactly. So I maybe get her reasons for agreeing to stay 26 years, but her parents as well, like they are really cruel, like really really cruel, because leaving her 26 years there and coming out and she gets to pass on. What's that?
That's a no for me. All right. Let me get to you personally.
Okay.
What have you done for love?
Moment of truth, right?
Yeah.
What have I done for love? I don't think I've done anything really strong. Really weird? Okay, so let me ask this first. Is it as a young teenager, as a child?
When did you start? Are you
okay? All them crushes back then.
Are you in love? I was supposed to ask you first. Are you
on national
TV? No, not on national TV. I mean, it's everywhere. It's not wrong. I mean, you passed the adulthood, the young age. You're more than 18 years.
Of course.
So you should have a lover.
Yeah.
So what's wrong there?
Okay, nothing for okay. To answer your question, if I've done something weird for love, have I? I'm thinking. I'm trying back. Maybe an anticipation of someone coming to the house.
Okay.
Like maybe anticipation of him coming to the house. Like when he has said, I'm coming by maybe this particular time, and then you're all out on your door every time you're like at your door checking is he around? So you hear footsteps and you feel like he's the one, and when you go to the door and he's not there, you go back to your bed and all of that. So
that actually happens, right?
Yes.
So did the person later come?
Yes, he did. He did. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. All right. So will you tell us about someone?
But there was a time he did not.
All right.
At the time he did not, and I didn't feel bad about it, because one thing about love is communication matters a lot. So no matter how upset I was, he didn't show up. I was able to ask, and he was also able to communicate with me that this is what happened, and that's why I didn't show up. So I think that's what love actually.
All right. Is. So have you ever thought of sharing your assets with your lover?
Okay. We have a lot of. Okay, so we're in Nigeria right now. So
Yes.
we have a lot of stories about people sharing bank accounts with their lover, joint accounts, yeah. And the next thing is the lover elopes with the money,
Okay.
especially when there are no children. We've seen cases where some have children and the lover still decides to, leave them, take out the money and run away. Yeah, true story in
True
Nigeria.
story.
True
We
story.
had a footballer recently. What's the footballer's name? I'm trying to think of that footballer's name. That the wife, they went to court and she sued him, demanding for his property, his assets, and
Yeah, I think.
not knowing to her that the assets have been
Yeah,
given in the name of his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mom is entitled to his assets, so she couldn't get access to that. That's weird because how could someone? This is your lover. You claim to love somebody so well, then you just feel like, okay, portion of my assets are not going to go for you. You're going for somebody else. That's my mom. Doesn't that feels weird? Because we have a lot of occurrences happening today. Some people decide to go for a joint account, while some people don't even want the joint account and they just have that name, he's my lover. I mean, what would you do with regards to trust? Because this is talking about trust now.
Okay, so I think everything that happens in marriage should be discussed prior to marriage. Okay, there are couples that agree within themselves, like we're going to have a joint account, but still we're still going to have our personal or individual accounts. This is amount that comes from both of us that goes into our joint account, and this is for what it's going for. Now, my own personal account, which is having my own money, I can decide to do whatever I want to do with it.
Your money.
Yes, because that's my money. Most people still communicate with their spouse to say, okay, this is something I want to do from my own money for maybe your mom or my mom, or let's do it for both moms. It depends on how their home is. So for joint account, it is necessary to have a joint account because it's like a savings account from the family. That's the way I say it.
So what happens to those people that have trust issues? Because sometimes we're going to face breakup and he's going to break up with me and my assets are just going to go down the drain. Things like that.
Okay, so most people have a lot of courts agreements. Yes, to say, okay, if we go to court and if we happen to want to separate, this is the money coming to me, this is what is going to you, and all of that. So, but I believe once you say you want to do life with this person, you should be able to trust the person, okay? And if there's any means where you don't trust the person, you should have seen it before you go married to the person, that this person is not to be trusted, and you decide.
So what if you're not married to that person, you're just on a date, you're just dating that person?
And you're having a joint account with the person? I don't see why I should have a joint account with somebody who I'm not.
Dating.
Yes, with someone I'm dating.
That's where the trust issue comes.
Because no, that dating phase is for me to really get to learn about you and see who you really are. So I should be able to have seen what your attitude or your character with money looks like.
Okay.
To be able to tell, do I want to continue with this particular pattern or lifestyle when I get into marriage with you? Is this something I can condone? Is this something I know I can't in the next coming couple of years we'll be together? So all these I see in my courtship or dating, should be able to tell me who you are and if it's something I want to cope with.
Thank you so much. Let's talk about your lover just before you go. Let's talk about your lover. What's that weird thing your lover has ever done? And you feel like each time that happens, oh God, why is this guy doing this to me? Why would they do that? You just feel weird about that very particular thing.
Weird thing he has done. I'm thinking. Sometimes you don't get to actually think about these things until we get to be asked the question.
And there are sometimes someone will just say, I don't like this thing this guy is doing. I don't like it. But you cannot just express it to him. You can't tell him that I don't really like this thing you're doing. To you, it feels weird, but to him, he feels it's normal.
What's that one thing he has done, right? Not general. It's him. Okay. Let me think. I think I can't really place it, but maybe in the area of calling, and maybe I'm on a call, and then I drop the call to call him back, and then he's on another call. Now it's kind of coincidental. It just happens. When you call somebody and maybe you have a line of people to.
The
Yes,
is
it's busy, and then you decide to go on a call to like decide to call somebody, not like to upset the person, not like as a payback, but you decide to just call somebody else maybe that has been on your mind, and at that moment your call is also coming into his phone, and so there's this call me. I'm on the call me, I'm on the call, and at the end of the whole day, it now feels like we're just trying to. We're now talking about like, okay, sincerely, we're both on. Okay, this is really urgent. Sometimes if the call you're having is not urgent, you can just decide to, I'll call you back, and then you call, call your lover, call him and call him. Yeah.
Let's be true now. Have you ever, for once, you feel like, okay, after you've called him, he's on call, and he calls you, you're on call, and you feel like, let me just call him, let me just call him. You don't wait until he calls back. You just feel like, okay, let me call
Yes, I do that. I don't know. I do that.
Why do you
that.
Why do you call back?
Okay, naturally, I'm a very caring person. Blow my trumpets,
No, that's okay.
No, people around me will know. Yes, it's a default system. Even when maybe the person may be angry with me and all of that. Sometimes I just choose to want to know. I like to know the reason behind something. I don't judge you because of what I think it is. I don't do assumptions. That's the word. I don't do assumptions. I like to really know your reason, behind a particular action or character or whatever it is. So the reason you give to me, it helps me know if it's actually genuine or not, or if it's something that you're not putting up to just for that particular situation, just go out of it. So that's basically it for me. So there are times I've called people who have gotten me angry. I've called them back to just that's just it.
That's okay. Thank you so much, Ivy.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate the fact that when you call him, he's on a call, and if he calls you, you're on a call. You just take the initiative to call him back. Some women will just be like, make him just be there. When he's ready, he will call me back.
No, there are times we will say that as well. There are times you're like, he should call back because especially when he's on the call and you've been calling and he says he's busy. Sometimes you say, okay, when he's done, he should call back. Now you're being gender biased.
No. It's not being gender biased.
No, you're being gender biased because men too will do like when she's ready, she should call me.
I have called him, he has called back, I have called him. He's supposed to call me back. It does happen to me. I must say.
Let's not argue on this.
Truth must be said.
Let's not argue.
All right, thank you, Ivy. Thank you. Good to have you on the Weather Zone today. I feel so really good having you and you sharing your opinion on what we should know or also do, most especially when it comes to best things you do for your lover. And I've also come to think about this: when you love someone, are you willing to do something for that person? This is just a quick word before you go.
Okay, love is sacrifice.
Okay.
I'm a Christian, so I would always draw it from the standpoint of the Bible as well. God loves us, and that's why He sent Christ.
All right, Ivy, thank you so much for being on the Weather Zone today. I mean, it's been wonderful. I really appreciate you, and we look forward to having you on the Weather Zone today to go and share more experience, because I love the way you talk about, okay, you love somebody, and when that happens, you need to be committed to that person. You need to do what needs to be done for that person, and that's really okay. You're not waiting for the fact that he calls me, I call him, he didn't pick. He calls me, I didn't pick, so he should be the one to call me back.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for coming to the Weather Zone today. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that was Ivy Henshaw, a climate change activist as well as an on-air personality. We call them the OAP, and she's been able to shed more light on weird things people do for love. Of course, there are a lot of weird things people do for love, but this is just an example of weird things people do for love. Lots of things happens today. Join us next time on the Weather Zone as we delve into bizarre and unsettling stories from around the world. Until then, I am Vixby, the voice of Niger Delta, and this is Vflex TV. Stay blessed.